back to Superhuman Customs. I'm Stephen Human. Today we're going to do something that, you guys know that I did not care for how most of the Justice Lord figures turned out, right? I considered at least 2 of them just complete fails. But that's not stopping me, because I found this Green Lantern for $6, and I was like, well, I need to finish out the team, at least. So here we go. We're gonna do Justice Lord Green Lantern, and hopefully at the end of this one, I'll feel more about like how I did with the Batman than I did about the Superman. So this will be an interesting thing. This isn't one of my favorite characters, and we know how that impacts the quality of my work. So I'm gonna put out a really good effort today to do a good job on this guy. So let's go. The first thing about Justice Lord Green Lantern is that he is not like regular Green Lanterns. He's actually the opposite colors. So he's, instead of being green up top and black in the rest, he is black all up here and green everywhere else. And his arms are bare. So this guy's arms are not going to work. We are going to need to use some arms that look bare, which we are going to use these leftover arms from a Superman, Red Sun Superman, that I used for my other Superman. And now we've got a guy who, once we paint him, will look appropriate. He'll look like he has bare arms. Pretty perfect. I love how these things work out sometimes. I was not planning on this at all. I thought that I hadn't looked closely enough at the character, so I thought that his arms would work. But the fact that I have this extra character, now he's really going to look the part. Now, in order to match all these colors, this brown and his skin color brown are not going to match. You should take that off. I'm going to put this on his arm when we're done. So what we're going to need to do is something I don't necessarily like, but it's needed. We are going to paint his skin, because he's bald, first of all. So I'm going to do a coat on his face. But what I'm going to do is like what I've done with a couple of others. I'm going to do a light one, and I'm going to hit most of these areas nice and light, leave the areas around his eyes, and that should do the trick to change his skin tone and allow me to go over the hair so that he's bald. And the great thing about this John Stewart is that the hair it's slightly raised, but not much, to the point where, as you can see, he looks bald. So I think we're gonna be okay with it. So I'm just gonna do this, put a coat on, and then move from there. You can kind of see a little bit between the head and the hair, a little line, now that it's all brown. So I'm going to take this file and I'm going to lightly go over it, and I'm going to eliminate that line so that it'll be smooth. So it will look like he doesn't have any hair, obviously. And then I can just repaint it. That's the beauty of going over it with another color, another brown, to make it so that it is, all uniform, is that you can do this once you find stuff like this and go back over the top. Now that we've got that fixed, we are going to do a black coat here. Now remember, Justice Lord Green Lantern is the opposite of Green Lantern. So where the top is green, on this guy it's black, and then down here is green. So we're just going to go through and fix that. That's it. From here on out, it's pretty simple. It's not a complicated thing. And that's nice. Sometimes we do some really crazy stuff, and it's a lot of fun. But sometimes when you get something like this, where it's like, oh, it's just a nice little paint job. And of course, I'm just using my Vallejo paints, that's all. Going over this. And we'll use the green here in just a second. And on to the green. This is a very interesting figure with the green and the black being reversed. It's just you're used to having the top of the Green Lantern be the green and the bottom be the black. Another thing that I'm grateful about this particular custom is those arms. because honestly, I hadn't looked at pictures of the Justice Lord Green Lantern prior to starting this. I just knew that he was green and black. And I thought, oh, I'll get a Green Lantern action figure and that will be that. But then after looking at the pictures, I realized, oh, well, the arms aren't going to work. He has bare arms. And so I'm really lucky that when I bought this figure, I also found that Red Sun Superman. And obviously I used the head for something else. I used the head for that Superman figure from a couple weeks ago. And I didn't know what I was going to do with the body. Well, I'm grateful that I had it, because these arms are correct and he's going to look so much better. Sometimes you get lucky. And we can't forget the symbol. Let's go ahead and do a light coat on this before we do our metallic over the top. Now that this guy's all dry, we're going to do some metallic green. And I'm just going to move it around. I found that the metallic paint works best when it is used very lightly, almost as a dry brush. Not necessarily, because obviously I go on a little bit thicker than dry brush, but just hitting the details and allowing some of the darker stuff to shine through. So that's what I'm going to try with this guy, to make it so that he still has some of the texturing of this paler green, but that he's given the metallic look that we're after. And I think going on nice and light is how we're going to make that into a reality. And again, a nice coat over the symbol to make it glossy as well. Nothing more complicated than that. As you guys can see, this is pretty simple. Go through nice and slow. And if you're paying attention, you're not going to find any slop. Keep the paint light on your brush, but enough that you can lead with the paint and not with the brush. And you're going to end up with the results that you want. Last but not least, I've left this hand off on purpose, and we are going to glue this guy in place right here, because I like the feel of him having like a power blast on his hand. And this is actually made for an old 5-inch Green Lantern figure that we've long since lost. It was Sam's when he was really little. But for this, it works perfectly for him, as you can see. But as long as the hand's not on there, then it fits great, and it actually catches the light really beautifully. Don't be afraid to do this sort of stuff. It can really enhance figure. Well, I may have been disappointed with some of the other Justice Lord figures, but this is not one of them. I'm really happy with how Green Lantern turned out. It's really simple. I mean, I'm lucky that I had the right arms, because like I said, I wasn't going into this thinking I was going to have to replace the arms. But he turned out really nice. I love how the shine, this simple accessory catches the light just beautifully. This is probably, honestly, my favorite Justice Lord that I've done. And these are characters that you guys well know I do not really care for. I just kind of did on a whim because I like the Batman. So here we go. Last one will be John Jones. I have no idea if and when I will do that one. I'll have to find a John Jones figure. I haven't seen one in a very long time, so we'll see. Obviously, I'm not like, oh, I have to do this guy. So we'll all wait and see together. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. I put out one video every week and some shorts here and there when I've got time. And I'm a novelist, so check out StephenHuman.com for all of my sci-fi thrillers. You guys will love them. And yeah, I'm Stephen Human. I'll see you next week.